West Coast, he's been calling to me. Now all my clothes are in the backseat, and I am driving out to it to know what I'm doing, but I know that I wanna stay free.
Are you ready to get down to earth? It's Raven Hernandez. Let's do it.
I'm really excited to talk to you today, Katie.
I'm so excited to be here.
I know. I personally like it when there are people every couple episodes like from Nashville, like with Nashville roots, because it's such a thing to get to bond over.
Yeah.
You know, what years were you there?
So I was there 2014 to 2018.
Okay.
I left like April of 2018.
Right after you went to college. Right after you finished.
Yeah. I wasn't actually at Belmont for 4 whole years. It was like 2.5, and then I transferred to like online.
But stayed
college.
in Nashville?
Yeah, but I
Nice.
stayed until I felt like there wasn't anything left for me. Like I got to this point where I felt like I kind of stopped growing, and I just felt really stagnant, and I was like, okay,
Well, so long, Nashville, Tennessee,
go,
Chris Stapleton.
yeah. But I still love it. Like I still love.
For sure. I mean, what's beautiful, what I love about like what you just said was that you were in online classes in Nashville, because Nashville is such a great city to go to college, because you're not stuck at like just being at the college. Like there's a whole city with a whole industry, multiple industries that you can connect into, which is really cool.
Totally.
So let's backtrack. So singer-songwriter, you have these like aspirations, you're from Philly. When did you first pick up an instrument or start singing? Like, were your parents ever like, oh, something's happening here? Like, what happened?
Yeah, so I've been singing forever, like literally since the beginning. I was lucky to grow up in a school where they kind of taught us how to sing from like pre-K.
Yeah, same. I went to a school like that. Yeah, I did choir like all the years.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
plays. Did you do plays
thing.
and stuff?
I never got into theater as much.
My school is so small that the theater and the choir were basically the same thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a very small little Christian school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once I got to be like 10, I picked up guitar and then started writing.
At school?
No, just sort of on my own.
Nice.
And then started writing at like 12 or 13, and that's when I feel like everything really started. Like once I started writing and like.
What were you writing about? What is like little 12 or 13 Katie writing about?
This is so funny, but when I first started, I was like riding horses. I was like a little horse girl.
That's cute. That's wholesome. That's beautiful.
So the first song I wrote was like about a horse, literally. And
I'd love to read that.
I can't really remember it, but I know it was about that. And that was kind of what started it all. And then I was like, you know, throughout middle school and high school, involved in different lessons and
did
like
your
bands.
Friends play as well? Like, did you surround yourself with a musical group?
I met friends through like after school programs and stuff like that, and was in some like bands throughout middle school and high school.
That's cool. What were the bands called? Do you remember the names?
It was not really.
That's
it was
kind of
like,
rocker.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. It was basically like they would put you in these programs where you would be like kind of in a temporary band to get the experience with other kids your age.
What were your influence back then? So were you Blink-182 vibes, Good Charlotte? Like were you more Taylor Swift when she was country? Like,
it's a good question.
Rap?
I definitely went through a big Taylor Swift phase, and I'm still in it. I love her. She's amazing. I'm so excited for her new album.
Swiftie.
And
12 Midnight?
Yeah.
It's called Midnight, right?
Yeah. But I was also really into I got really into like alternative and a lot of 90s rock.
Yeah, for sure. So like Sublime and Nirvana.
Yeah, like
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, for sure. There was like this one radio station in Philly that was just like the alternative station. And
shout them out. Shout them out.
Oh, and then School of Rock I did kind of briefly.
What's
and
that?
That was kind of like the movie, basically. So it's this after-school program where they'll put you in like a big group of kids. You learn a bunch of songs, and then at the end of I think like 3 months or something, you have a big concert and you play.
Do they
in a
vote
band.
on a winner?
It's not like a contest, but
Okay.
it's like a little, like they put you in a band with
Yeah.
other kids. So I did all that kind of stuff, and then moved to Nashville to go to college.
Loved it.
eventually.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so being from Nashville, I know what it is because it's just like it's there.
Mhm.
How did you learn about Belmont and their music program? Like, what is it known throughout the country that's like one of the top? Like, what is it? How is it looked at?
I found out about it because I was looking specifically at schools that had a songwriting major,
Okay.
and there were at the time there were only like 3, like a
Nashville,
small handful.
Music City. Like, of course, we're in the top 3 in the very beginning.
Yeah, so I visited Berkeley, but also Belmont, and I liked the chill vibe of Belmont and just Nashville in general.
Yeah.
So it kind of was just like, yeah,
What part
I'll
of town
just
did you
give
live
it a
on
try.
campus?
For a period of time, yeah,
Mhm.
and then around like Hillsborough Village and
Yeah.
then Donaldson out by the
Mhm.
airport.
Yeah, for
for like the
sure.
last year.
I love it.
Yeah.
Did you write any of your songs now? I was reading because some of your songs that I like the titles are and like when you hear the words are kind of a lot like LA, like Honey and West Side, you
Mhm.
know. Did
Yeah.
you write those at Belmont or did you do them out here?
Those were all out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what were you writing? Like what songs were you writing when you were in Nashville?
When I was there, I was doing a lot of like indie folk stuff, which is a little bit different from what I'm doing now. I put out like a little EP and an album when I was there.
What studios where were you at?
The album was this guy Sean. He calls his studio Hey World Productions.
Hey World Productions.
So that was the album, and then the little EP I did was just like through.
The big EP. The EP.
Yeah,
The
the
EP.
first EP
The EP.
was with just someone I got connected with who had like a home studio.
Yeah. Those are the best.
Yeah,
Because those are like they have everything you need, and and if it's like a decent setup, then I mean, there's so many studios in Nashville per square capita.
Totally.
I don't know if it's still true, but we were like per square capita the most recording studios in the world, which is
I believe it.
I mean, Berry Hill is just like like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I believe it.
So
for
many
sure.
basements in Belmont. That's what was fun about like growing up and then going to college there is because then I got to experience all of my friends and where they were at in their stages of life, like getting to be in the studio, like golden cassettes and like seeing all the homies and seeing Fish and
Totally.
Star and Anthony and
Did you ever
all of them.
do music at all?
So yeah, kind of like as a kid.
Okay.
I did all the plays, like was like always trying to have the solos, like the main character. So I really enjoyed and like grew up loving music. That's why when I went to law school and I decided that okay, I have to do this for me and like do for the reasons that I want to do it. I was like, I love music so much and I want to be a part of the industry in a way that can like uplift and benefit. So I was like, oh, I'll be an entertainment attorney. And then once I got like down the road and was walking into entertainment law offices, I was like, maybe this is not for me. You know,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
I probably could have been an entertainment lawyer if I truly wanted to, but that's like the thing, right? It's like you do what you want to do. So was there ever a time where you felt like you should do something else instead of music, or have you always been committed?
You know what's funny is it's funny because I went to Belmont for songwriting, but when I first got there, I went into college thinking I was going to do something like behind the scenes ultimately. So I thought it would be something like in music business.
Did
or,
you
like-
also study music business at Belmont?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the degree.
totally.
Like that's
yeah.
the one there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it taught you a lot?
I do, yeah. I mean, the music business, it changes so much that I definitely walked away with a lot, but I feel like a lot has also changed since I
Yeah. I feel
was
like
there.
school is meant to give you this helping of like creating a train of thought around stuff, but not
Yeah.
necessarily the actual answers.
Mhm.
I mean, as a kid, we're not given any trains of thought or answers that are really relevant as adults sometimes. But yeah, that's interesting. So how long have you been out here in LA now?
It's been like 4 years, like
Okay.
a little over 4.
Okay. And you've written like all the songs that you have out now. So where did you record this? Did you record this album in LA?
So the album, I've only put out one album so far, which was in Nashville.
Okay.
All the songs and singles I've put out.
So you've been putting out singles
Yeah.
and recording them. Nice.
Yeah. since like 2018 have all been in
Yeah.
LA, a bunch with different people and different producers.
Yeah,
but
which is like the best part about NLA. Like, who do you love working
Totally.
with here?
I feel like I've found a good core group of people. I just started recording an album, like a longer project.
You found one you like?
Yeah.
I feel like that's like, why do you lean creatively towards sometimes just singles or just albums? Like, do you feel like it's
honestly, a lot of it is like the way like streaming platforms are structured, and also just sort of
you're
like,
starting your answer with like that?
well, honestly, it's like the way people listen and everything I've sort of
Put together as
been
singles?
hearing, and like information I've been gathering over the last few years has been like singles are kind of the way to go,
Yeah.
just because it's a way to sort of reach more people. Like, for example, this is just a small example, but like on Spotify, you can like pitch songs to get added to playlists, but you
Yeah.
can only do it like one song at a time. Like, you can't pitch a whole album. So
So
that's
you gotta choose.
one reason for singles. But I'm doing an album now because I feel like I finally have a cohesive group of songs.
Yeah.
And it's all like, I'm like, okay, I'm intentionally choosing to put it together as like just to create art and to make it as, just because that's what feels fulfilling to me right now, is
Yeah.
just to make a cohesive collection of art.
That's like what you want, right? Like, you want
Totally.
that to be the feeling. And I like, though, that you
Totally.
still understand the game and you're doing it in ways that hopefully make you comfortable. You know, because I mean, you've
Totally.
gotten like 160,000 monthly subscribers. Like, you're growing your music
Yeah.
base, you know? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance for sure.
Yeah.
Of like, playing the game, quote unquote, and also really staying in touch with yourself and
Yeah.
what feels
And leaning into
right.
like what your fans like. Like, it's cool to see like, oh man, they really geared towards this. Well, what about this that I like to then create in another way that they might like too? You know,
Totally,
it's a
yeah.
lot of kind of mind stuff.
Yeah.
So with the marketing of your music, like, walk me through kind of, okay, so you start right there, right? Like, that's also a thing, like single versus album. Understanding, do I have a group of songs that makes sense, that feels like I want to create this, or do I want to do it this other way? And then beyond that, are you starting to think about like posturing the theme and like the title and kind of the way it all feels? Like, how does that come together?
Yeah, I mean, with this album I'm just starting to put together, I'm really excited about it because I'm sort of going into all the aspects like around it. Like I have this idea to also simultaneously with it release like sort of like a poetry book to go along with it. So like lyrics of each song,
Like an
will be
ebook,
on-
like to buy?
yeah, like
Nice.
I want it to be, I want to have an option for people to buy a physical copy if they want to, but then have an ebook available, and maybe make the ebook free, but the physical copy available to buy. But have it be like lyrics on one side and then like a poem or just free writing on the other side that goes with the
That's
song
dope.
itself.
That's dope.
And sort of I just want to make it like an art piece, basically,
Yeah.
this whole thing. And it's all going to be songs that are just like from the last 2 years of healing from, a breakup. And,
Yeah.
I'm just excited because it's the first cohesive project I've done in a really long time.
How does not just physical, how does like any relationship like impact your music? Where do you feel like sometimes it impacts like your even desire to write or be in the headspace to write? Like, do you like, what's your writing process like? Do you like detract or get like energy and like ideas from people?
Totally. I feel like when I write, it's always coming from a very emotional place, whether it's like, positive emotions, like West Coast, the excitement of like going to California, or like these songs, for example, that are from like the strife and heartbreak of a breakup, it all always comes from a very emotional place. So relationships definitely very heavily play a role in just like inspiration and how inspired I feel, for sure.
It's like, what's your favorite lyric on this album that you feel comfortable sharing? That's like kind of like a gotcha on a breakup.
That's a good one. That's a really good question. I'm trying to think. I would have to like sit down and literally just go through the lyrics, because it's hard to remember lyrics to like 10 songs right now.
Yeah.
But
What are you like most focused on right now? Obviously, that's what like comes up, right?
like in terms of
Like whichever song that you've been thinking about the most. Like, do you focus on them like singularly at times and like make sure that it's where you want it to be? Or are you done?
For sure. Yeah, I kind of just started recording, so we're going song by song.
Yeah.
But I mean, this breakup, it's like the breakup itself has been very, like there's no angry songs. It's a lot of like,
No little jabs?
not really.
It's all been
it's
sad?
been a lot of like, I love this person so much and nothing actually went wrong. It's just a matter of like, it just wasn't right anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. He'll feel good about that then.
Yeah, so I think that's why I feel so strongly about these songs, because it's coming from a place of heartbreak, but at the same time like a lot of love.
Yeah.
You know?
So this is a deep question and you don't have to answer, but in general, songwriters, do you feel like sometimes they write lyrics because they know they're going to be heard?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like subtweeting.
Yeah. Exactly. I didn't have a Twitter for the long, like I literally deleted my Twitter in high school when girls ganged up on me. I was like, delete, that's not cool. And now I'm having to come back into it and be like, what is this world? Like there's all these sub genres of Twitter too.
Yeah.
That are like little communities and stuff. Like, oh, well, what happened on this Twitter and that Twitter? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I'm not a big Twitter person.
What's your social of choice?
Instagram. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, you're like millennial, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. I remember this girl in my friend group started using Instagram before anybody else as like an editing of her photos, but like also posting them, and we were all just kind of like, what do you do? You know, like she downloaded it on our phone, so we like try to use it. But I remember like the first couple photos I posted was like, I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah,
like I'm like,
those were the days. I
the
loved
Nashville
it.
filter,
Yeah,
the lo-fi
the
filter,
and the frames.
Oh my
Such
god,
an amazing time.
You're big on Dodo, right? Like your videos with animals.
Yeah, so I had one feature on the Dodo for the
goat video, right?
The goat video.
Yeah.
People that might be listening are probably a little confused, but I had this video of me singing to a goat that just kind of went viral, and then the Dodo picked it up and did like a little feature, and that was amazing. I was like,
so cool.
This is wild.
So random.
So crazy. Yeah.
Were you in LA?
I was.
It's such an LA thing. Yeah, like of course. So we need to find more animals for you to sing to. Like, like
so basically
a subgenre.
I'll talk a little bit about how it started, because it was basically I got to LA 4 years ago. I was super burned out. Like I had just been pushing so hard in Nashville for years, and I was like so burned out. And I got here and I was like, okay, what do I want to do just because it makes me happy and excited?
Yeah.
And I was sort of taking the pressure off myself. And then I started getting this vision that kept coming to me, like literally a vision just sort of playing over and over my head out of nowhere of me playing music to a cow. And I was like, this is so out of nowhere, but it also made so much sense.
Totally sober, chilling.
Yeah, completely. Like
on
just
the
going
beach.
about my day. And then I was like, wait, this actually makes so much sense, because I grew up around farm animals, and it's
in Philly.
Yeah, like
Okay.
like rural Pennsylvania.
So you grew up like on land, not in a city?
I had a horse and a goat when I was a kid, but
Because that's what your first songs were about.
yeah, exactly. I was a little horse girl, but
So this theme hasn't dropped off then. Like you're having visions of cows later on in life.
yeah,
Very attached. Now you've got, what are your cats' names?
Kevin and Ceviche, my little cats.
Yes.
Um,
And Kevin.
But yeah, so I was like, wait, this makes so much sense because these have always been my two loves, like music and just animals.
Yeah.
And I never thought of combining the two before I got here. For
We
whatever
gotta get
reason.
you out like on some of the Malibu safari stuff.
Oh
We
yeah.
gotta get you some. And there's a Peter took me to for one of my birthdays here. Took me to visit a giraffe. It was like a giraffe that had been rescued from like doing stuff like shows, and they walked around the neighborhood.
About. Was it at the Malibu Safari?
No, it wasn't him. I remember his name. I don't remember his name, but I do know that giraffe. I do know that. That's just like a LA thing to say. Yeah, I know that giraffe.
I would love to hang out with a giraffe. That sounds amazing.
Well, they love Peter because he's 6'6". So they're like bobbing their heads like, yo, like you're a little bit like almost kind of like hitting their heads.
You're one of us.
Yeah, so exactly. Funny. Like I feel like you know what life's about. Meanwhile, we're down here just like, no. What's your favorite animal?
That's so hard. I don't
Themes,
know.
like obviously like there's multiple.
I would have to say goats are really up there.
Yeah.
I just
like what are your three? Like if you had to name 3 animals you really enjoyed.
Oh man. Goats, birds for sure.
Nice.
I don't know. That's a really hard question.
It's tough.
I don't even know. Maybe cats.
Because Kevin and Beach. Yeah, you're like, gotta shout the guys out.
Yeah.
I'd say mine are elephants. Like some sort of cat, like a lion though. Like a lion, cheetah, white. All of those are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like a white snow leopard. Are you kidding? Those videos are crazy. And then I want to choose a water animal, like a dolphin or something, or a whale or a turtle.
Yeah.
You know, but I also really like monkeys, and then obviously Violet. I mean, dogs are like, I always grew up with dogs. I had pit bulls my entire like childhood existence. I probably had like in the family at least 5 or 6. I mean, my uncles would all my uncles and aunts would find stray animals and like bring them in.
Yeah.
Like we would like all the time. It never failed. One time we were visiting my uncle in the middle of nowhere, and we're leaving. And one of my other uncles and aunts, they're like, there's a dog on the side of the road. They're like trying to catch the dog. And like, what are you guys going to do with this animal? Like, you guys we're visiting from out of town. They didn't even live in Tennessee anymore. So it's like,
yeah.
What are you going to do with this animal?
And I feel like growing up with animals, like I feel like if you don't grow up with animals,
I feel bad.
It's harder to sort of like feel connected to them. But if you grow up with them, it's just like natural.
Well, they've just got like their little brains. I had a dog. Her name was Fudge, and there'd be like 10 pairs of shoes laying out, and one of them would be mine, and the rest would be anyone else's. And she would like never tear up mine.
I thought you were gonna say she had her own pair of shoes.
I wish. She could run really fast. Sometimes she escaped in the morning.
Yeah.
That poor dog. She didn't get enough like running time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And she was a miniature pinscher German Shepherd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was very cute, very unique looking. It was cool. I love animals. Yeah. They're the best for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any songs about animals? Or do you like drop a line about animals from time to time?
Not really.
We need to get on that.
True.
Just shout somebody out, right?
I feel like it's hard to do without sounding corny, honestly. like how do you, I don't even know. You would have to make it like you're talking to a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could write a whole song like you're talking to a person, but it'd be about an animal. It'd be about animals.
Lorde did that. She wrote a song about her dog and put it on her last album.
How did you know it was about her dog? What's it called?
She said it was
afterwards. What's it called?
It's called Big Star. I love it. It's
I
beautiful.
have to check that out. You've worked with some pretty cool songwriters and different artists. You worked with Desmond Child, didn't you?
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah.
There was like this 2-day opportunity. I think it was 2 days, 2 or 3 day opportunity I got to be a part of in Nashville with him and like a small group of writers.
Nice. Near Music Row?
Probably.
Probably.
I can't even remember where it was, but yeah, it was in his little studio. Well, not little. It was in his studio, and it was just really cool to see and be around someone on his
I mean, Kelly Clarkson, Aerosmith, Selena Gomez.
Living on a Prayer, like crazy. Yeah, Nashville definitely. There were a lot of really cool opportunities I had when I was there.
Yeah, if you're around and you're authentic, Nashville feels it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
If it's not like the front facing, behind the scenes, the community. That's what's so beautiful and unique about Nashville is that it's one of those places where you make it home and you make it a point to say hi to the people next to you, and you'll have relationships.
Totally,
like,
it's.
You could probably even not say hi, and they'll still Tennesseans are still gonna say hi to you.
It's really easy to make friends there.
Yeah,
which I kind of miss that aspect of it.
Yeah.
September nights, thinking about the love I got, and I know the path I'm on is right. Laughing with the loved ones in my life, I feel it come together. Hands hold me like a feather. No, I'll never be alone. Ancestors guide me home. I feel it come together. Every day I'm getting better. Life, she looks out for me. We're both in a driver's seat.
It's tough. So what do you like about LA? Because I moved here for law school and then moved back, and then I'm here now a lot too. So like the California definitely has a place in my heart. Yeah. What do you like? What draws you here?
I honestly love it. There's something that always pulls me back. Like anytime I, visit somewhere else, I always have this feeling like I just can't really imagine being anywhere else right now.
Yeah.
There's so much creativity here of so many different kinds. Like so many different kinds of artists, like music, but otherwise too, like
entire industry.
All kinds of artists.
Right? Like a mecca.
It feels very free. Like, it feels like you can just sort of be and do whatever you want.
I get that.
And, like, there's no ceiling. And I feel like that's allowed me to sort of just really grow and keep growing as an artist and as a person. So I love it.
What do you do in your free time?
Free time, I write little, like, custom songs for money, like, as a job, basically.
Yeah. On one of those websites?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You got like good reviews.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah.
It's always really sweet seeing how excited people are.
Yeah. So you're busting out content then. Like you're writing a lot of songs. Like you're really keeping your muscle like
for sure.
Trained.
For sure.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, to get to do that nowadays, I don't know how hard it was back in the day. You probably have to just write a bunch of songs and then try and pedal. I mean, how would you do that without the internet, like, so easily?
I don't even know. Yeah.
Hopefully, like, older people aren't listening to us like, oh, you idiots. We had a whole system.
Right.
We had a whole system of how we sold our songs.
Right, like through the newspaper
on the catalogs.
Yeah.
2 lines.
I'm trying to think what else I do. I mean, I love just spending time, with people I care about.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of friends do you have family out here?
I don't have family. I wouldn't say I have a lot of friends here either. Like it's taken me a while to build like a solid core community here, but I feel like I've finally found my people.
Yeah.
I love just being outside as much as I possibly. That's another thing I love about California is.
Do you go on a lot of hikes and stuff and like go outside?
Try to,
or the beach?
Yeah, the beach for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like the nature here is unreal.
Yeah. Well, compared to Philly and Nashville, like the exoticness of stuff, like you're gonna get such a more diverse, looking. I mean, we go to Solstice all the time, and it's like there were bananas growing there today. Like there's like 6 bunches just wild from the leaves, which is it's cool to see that. Like you're definitely not seeing that as much throughout the U.S. in certain places, but it's just different, Like I mean, Yosemite is still like crazy, when it comes to nature. It's just completely
I want to go.
different.
I haven't been.
Have you been to any like national parks ever?
I have been to a bunch. Joshua Tree is the closest.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I still haven't. It's like one of those I haven't been to, but I've been to a lot of others.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
California overall, like all the trees and the different types of trees, like it's crazy. Just in the world, I mean, lots of different types of trees. Other places as well too.
Arizona is another one of my favorite places for just like the diversity in nature there.
Have you done any res? Like been on any reservations?
Yeah. 2015 I did a trip to 3 different ones in like, it was the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, the Crow Reservation in I think Montana, and then the Arapaho Reservation, I think it's Wyoming.
For the like oil pipeline stuff?
No, I didn't go for Standing Rock.
You just went to like go. But
yeah,
like
it was
you went to Sacred Rivers too, didn't you?
Sacred Rivers.
Like to protect the oil line, or maybe you were saying something about it online?
I did like a little benefit show for it at one point.
Okay.
But
so you've just been to these different types of places then?
Yeah, it was actually a school trip through Belmont.
Really? They sent you to
like,
reservations?
Yeah, and it wasn't a missionary thing or anything like that. It was just what were the classes we were taking? I don't even know what the classes were, but it was
dope.
Yeah, it was an incrable experience.
That's crazy.
For so many different reasons.
What? That's amazing. Yeah. I'm like low-key jealous. I've spent time with like Native Panamanians, like in their space and stuff.
Yeah.
But in Colombia, but not that much in the United States. I've been through and like, but I don't know, you know, it's interesting to know that like all land, there were people before, you know, it's not necessarily unique to the United States.
Totally.
And so it's like, I wonder what that if and when that happens again, like what's that going to be like? You know what I mean? Like it's a theme in our history of people.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was honestly a really heavy trip. But yeah, incredible.
Yeah. I want to talk about a little bit more going back into the marketing side of things and, you know, yes, utilizing like kind of the single strategy, but you have 15 million plays. So like, how does that get there? You know, what are things that you would say to look out for? Are you watching your trends, or do you have people helping you? Like, how does that? Are you having to be super thoughtful about everything, or are you just doing things organically?
So, this is actually, it's kind of funny because the honey is the one that has 14-something mil streams right now.
Let's round up, you know.
Yeah, but it was so funny because like that was a song I wrote and recorded with a few friends of mine.
Nice. And
we all loved the song. We were like stoked on it. But we released it a few years ago. And we kind of just put it out. We didn't put a lot into marketing or promotion for it, honestly, but what we did was we just submitted it to Spotify for Artists to be considered for like Spotify playlists. None of us were signed. None of us had any like.
But 3 of you did it?
It was through 2 accounts. And for some reason, somehow, like 2 weeks after we put it out, it just happened to get added to one of the top 5 like Spotify editorial playlists, and we were just like, what? I still have no idea why. It just sort of like caught. And for the first, I think, year and a half, we were getting like 20,000 streams a day. And so that's where a lot of it has come from, honestly. But
which is super cool to like have that opportunity.
Yeah,
and to like
it was
work hard enough to put yourself to be in that place. You know what I mean?
For sure. Because people are like, well, you can submit, but like,
you never know what's gonna happen. It's like
probably not, but
okay, but what if it does? Yeah, it's like, what do you have to lose? Like, I think sometimes it's tough being an artist from the sense of like, you know that there's a system, so you like almost don't want to play the system because it's like this system's not built right, or it's not built for what some would consider like I think from a writer's perspective, it's like, who's the best writer? And like from a drummer's perspective, it's like, well, I'm a better drummer than that. Like everyone looks at it as like, well, I have more raw talent, but this person has more entertainment style. And so like they're not as good. Like there's this kind of in this space of like who's actually a good artist. Oh, this person lip sings but dances really well. So like they're not like a true performer. It's like, it's all a craft. Like it all takes work. But I can see it being difficult from an artist who like is very methodical and like putting in a lot of effort into the music, and someone else just does really good on the branding, and it's like boom for them. It's like, oh, what? Like, are you kidding me?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the independent thing as an artist is great, and it's also like, it can drive you to insanity because there's so many different aspects to it.
So many decisions that you have to make.
So many.
And they all affect each other.
Yeah. Yeah. and it takes so much time, and especially if you want to keep things consistent, it's like, it's so much, especially when you're also trying to figure out just how to like cover your living expenses on top of doing this whole everything yourself.
Yeah. Do you feel like being a woman in the space has made it easier or harder, or like neutral?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say easier. I would be surprised if honestly any woman said easier.
Depends maybe what industry.
Maybe. Yeah. Harder in some aspects. I've had many moments, just walking into spaces and knowing that people already don't really like take me seriously.
Literally.
Like there was this, I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah,
like there was
yeah.
this one recording session I was in, and with this producer who I really respect, and at the time, the person I was in a relationship with, he was also a musician, and so we were in the session together as equal members of this session, and the producer's manager comes in, and we were meeting him for the first time, and he shakes my boyfriend at the time his hand, and he shakes my hand, and he's like, oh, so you're the girlfriend. I was like, no.
I booked half of the studio. I'm actually paying for a portion of this. Thanks.
I was like, but it's just little moments like that.
Yeah. I was just at a dinner the other day with some people, and like we're all business people, and this guy was like he was just giving like vibes, like I don't know, like it was weird. I think because he was like a single guy, and I wasn't necessarily there with anyone. He felt like, who is she getting to talk to all these people? I don't know. It was a weird vibe nonetheless. And I could tell like there were probably 1-2 times where he actually made fun of me in a different language to people around him, just like the way his behavior was. And then at the very end of the night, everyone's leaving, and he like, I was shaking someone's hand or something, and he was over here, and then he immediately passed me and went to someone else. And then like I went through the rest of the group, and he thought that I was gonna wait there for a handshake, and I just turned around. I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, who are you? Like, I don't even know you.
Right.
I mean, just like random stuff like that can just be, I don't know. Men are so, sometimes like in social settings and with alcohol as well. Like I don't drink when I'm in public or ever really. So it's, seeing kind of like people's brain power deteriorate.
Totally. And it's so interesting in these industries, because it's not just the music industry, but like in the music industry, so many of these big machines, whether it be like record companies, management companies, publishing companies, whatever it is, so many of them are owned by men.
Yeah.
And so it's this weird thing of like, if you are a musician and you're really, trying to be successful in the industry, a lot of the time it feels like you're working for the approval of like these companies that are owned by men, essentially.
So
you're
it's like,
just,
what's your
working for
look?
the
What's your
approval of-
style? Yeah.
Yeah,
What
and,
are you
like-
saying? Are you saying something that I want to hear?
Yeah, and like so much is
Yeah.
dictated by the men that run these companies, and so it's like it's very strange.
Sometimes I find this tough to talk about publicly because there's still so many women that like kind of play the same game, and then there are so many men that I respect that like are just regular human. Like there's like these like pools of people, and there's like the regular humans, men, women, whatever, that are just like, we are both living in a human experience. Let's not like, let's try and at minimum, let's not make this worse for each other, but at maximum, maybe we can be friends or just add value to each other in passing. And then there's like the other people that are like, I don't know, it's almost like greed. Like, it all has to be mine and in the way I want it to be, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, for what? Like, what's it even matter?
Yeah.
It's wild.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Are you playing, so to kind of switch the conversation, are you playing live anywhere, like with your new music? Are you playing live in general?
Yeah. So next week I'm actually going to Austin, Texas.
Oh, nice.
And I'm playing an event called Unleash. It's like it's kind of like a 3-day festival experience.
Where at?
Small. It's like right outside of Austin.
Okay.
On
Coda?
this piece of land. It's near
Circuit of the Americas?
I think Dripping Springs.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's like this small, basically festival experience.
Yeah.
And I'll be playing a set there.
Nice.
And I'm super excited.
What are the dates?
September 23rd to 25th.
23rd to 25th.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I've never been to Austin, so I'm excited.
You're going to love it. Where are you
excited to see
staying?
it. I'll be camping there.
At the place. You're
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be like in nature
Yeah.
and just like sleeping on the
In the earth.
Yeah, I'm just so
Yeah. Are there
excited.
any like rivers that you can like wash in or anything?
I don't know, honestly.
You don't know
I need
that-
to,
you
I
don't
need
know
to
anything.
look.
What's nice is like you're still in the city. I mean, like Dripping Springs is it's nice. Like you were in nature, but you're also like right by the city, like 25, 30, depending on like where you are.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That's what's cool about Austin is that, you know, you're like in nature, but you're also right there. Like
Totally.
have you been, so you've never been?
I've never been. I've been to
Okay.
San Antonio and like Dallas.
Totally different. You're literally not in Texas when you're in Austin.
Yeah, I was surprised how green it is.
Yeah.
there. I was like, what? 'Cause so many
In
places
Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dallas is like not.
And like El Paso
yeah.
is super desert.
Oh my God. I feel
Yeah.
bad. Like there's so many factories and stuff. Like the air quality has to be terrible
In Austin.
in Dallas
Dallas.
or
okay.
Houston.
Yeah.
Like I mean, they're huge cities. They're huge. So it's just so many people, so much concrete,
Yeah.
all kind of mixed in there.
Kind of like the layer of LA smog that's consistently just hanging over the
Just
city.
chilling, just letting you know you're here. Do you
Yeah.
feel like has anyone that you've known like had issues with singing because of their health? Have you ever seen anyone?
No.
That's good.
No. I remember the first year I got here was the Malibu fires.
Woolsey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
When the
yeah.
sky was like yellow.
Yeah. That was a big one.
Yeah, I remember thinking, if this happens every year,
Maybe this
how do
is
people survive? But
Yeah.
it's year 4 and I'm still alive.
You're still thriving. Yeah, that fire was crazy. I went and looked at
Yeah.
a bunch of different places I was gonna move, and every single place that I looked at that was in my budget that I could have made work burned down. Yeah, and then the place that I had
Jeez.
like had my stuff at, like I was like some of my furniture because I was gone for the summer and then came back, and I just hadn't grabbed my furniture yet, and that house burned down too.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I lost like a Pendleton blanket, like a nice rug, like little like a TV, little
That's
you know.
crazy.
But I didn't lose any clothes, which is the most important.
That's wild.
Yeah, one of the first summer I lived out here in LA. I like woke up and like my throat hurt. I was like, that's weird. And then I got ready and like opened the door and it was just like ash falling. And the fire was like 50 miles away or 100 miles away or something. Like it was
crazy.
further. It was on the other side of the 101s. I was just like, this is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Are you having to do any other type of work while you're here, or do you get majority of your income from music?
Yeah, so I was actually working in animal rescue.
I love you.
Up until like not too long ago.
Animals and music, like you stick to it.
There was this past year I was working at like a cat and dog rescue, and then before the pandemic I worked as a tour guide at a farm animal sanctuary,
So
like
dope.
right outside of here for like a year and a half, and it was great. It's
just like the
super
pressure.
fun.
I feel like you get to like go enjoy work, make enough to then go build your career, you know, like the
Yeah.
balance of not having to do something that takes up so much mental space.
Totally.
You
It
know?
was super grounding to sort of
Oh yeah.
have something that wasn't it was very grounding.
I mean, you're in nature with animals.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're like watching them live, you know, their little lives.
Totally. But yeah,
Wild.
being in LA is constantly like, you know, trying to figure out how to
Make money.
make it by,
Yeah.
you know?
How do you
But-
think about how platforms pay out artists? Do you feel that it's a straightforward way, it makes sense, or can it be something else?
Artists definitely should be paid more, for sure. I think the way that we're paid, like through royalties, that's fine. That's whatever. It makes sense. But I think just the amounts that artists and writers are paid is awful. And that's been a conversation that people have been having for a while.
Years.
But
Years and years and years.
it's like, yeah.
So what do you think about like NFTs and being able to
NFTs, I'm very new to it still. I have a friend who works for a company and does a lot of like the Web3 stuff. And I've been
Putting you
learning a
on
lot
game?
through him and like the events that he's been inviting me to. And
nice?
it's really cool. I totally get why it's so attractive to people and artists, because there are musicians I've met who are like, they're just making a lot of money off of Web3 and NFTs and all that kind of stuff. I would say I'm just very new to it, and I'm still in the phase where I'm like gathering information and trying to sort of understand it more.
Figure out how it
But-
can benefit you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's awesome. I
It's
think
cool. It's cool to see a lot of artists are open to exploring other ways of doing things. And that's really
Totally.
the only way anything's ever going to change, is when you get a collective group of people who are saying, okay, this isn't what we want. Let's go figure out if they're not going to change
Totally.
the system, let's go build a different system.
Totally. Yeah, and one of the artists I was talking to who's been really successful with it said something I really liked, which was Web3 and NFTs have given her a way to not necessarily connect with a whole bunch of people, but the quality of her relationships with her listeners just feels like it's gotten a lot deeper, because these people are investing in her, and she's able to, you know, see who's investing in her and build relationships with those people. So it's like a way to build more quality relationships with your supporters, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, well, I get to kind of build some quality time with you here shortly. You're going to do a couple songs in our unplugged version of this episode. What are the couple songs that you're going to do? And then we can get set up.
Yeah, I'm going to play West Coast,
Okay.
which is the song I was playing in the GOAT video that we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
talking
I
about.
literally was just listening to it.
Yeah, and then one that will actually be on the album.
Nice.
That I was
Sneak
mentioning
peek. Very
earlier.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it. So, my name is Katie Buxton. This first song is called West Coast. I wrote this right before I moved across the country to LA. I know my time is up in this place, when all my days start looking the same, and I want something that's different. Don't wanna keep wishing for something in my life to change. The West Coast, it's been calling to me. Now all my clothes are in the backseat. it to know what I'm doing, but I know that I wanna stay free. And I am driving out to it to know what I'm doing, but I know where I wanna be, yeah. 'Cause I wanna feel like the sunshine coming through my window, untied to everything, so anything goes. I have a feeling when I believe in letting it lead me all the way to California. The 101 has been on my mind. Wanna drive up North Oceanside, then maybe go back to LA. Figure I'll just stay, find a room with a view of the tide. Making it up as I go, but it's going good. I'm doing better than I ever thought I could. I do it best when I do it my own way. No justifications or reasons I gotta say. I'm doing alright, living in the sunshine every day. 'Cause I wanna feel like the sunshine coming through my window, untied to everything, so anything goes. I have a feeling when I believe in letting it lead me all the way to California, all the way to California, all the way, all the way. All the way to California. So this next song is going to be on the album I was talking about a little bit earlier, and I wrote this sort of just about finding the light and sort of coming out of the darkness and just finding the light again. It's called Life She Looks Out For Me. Sierra nights, sitting out front with my aloe, got me feeling everything will be alright. She tells me trust the timing of my life, I see it come together. World peace, better weather, a White House that's made for me, light streaming into the kitchen sink. I feel it come together every day, I'm getting better. Life, she looks out for me, we're both in the driver's seat. Even when I fall apart, I find grace in a broken heart. Life, she looks out for me, I'm looking out for me. September nights, thinking about the love I got, and I know the path I'm on is right. Laughing with the loved ones in my life, I feel it come together. Hands hold me like a feather, no, I'll never be alone. Ancestors guide me home. I feel it come together every day, I'm getting better. Life, she looks out for me, So this last song I put out a couple months ago, and I grew up in Catholic school and unfortunately saw a lot of just a lot of hypocrisy and judgment in the name of religion. And so this song kind of touches on just sort of the more just touches on that. It's called Playing God.
Think I'm going to heaven, even though the Christians tell me otherwise. They tell me I'm a sinner, but why would God make something he doesn't like? Sounds pretty stupid when you say it like that, like that, like that. I love the life I'm living, but it makes you so mad, so mad, so mad. Everybody's playing God, trying to get somewhere, trying to be first in line. My God, only people throwing elbows in the name of Jesus Christ, trying to be first in line. You think that you could judge me? Well, honey, you're the one who hates yourself. But I know I ain't worthless. I've been looking out for my mental health. If everybody's wrong, babe, don't that mean you're the same, the same, the same? You think you're so damn righteous, nah, you're just obsessed with the gays, the gays, the gays. Everybody's playing God, trying to get somewhere, trying to be first in line. My God, only people throwing elbows in the name of Jesus Christ, trying to be first in line. Ooh, 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 If Jesus walked in, he'd wanna leave and look elsewhere for love. 'Cause it ain't here in your house of hate that you say is guiding you from above. Playing God, trying to get somewhere. My God, only people throwing elbows. God, trying to get somewhere, trying to be first in line. My God, only people throwing elbows in the name of Jesus Christ, trying to be first in line. Ooh,
So this song is called Alone in LA. I actually wrote this actually when the Malibu fires were burning, and it was a few months after I got to LA, and I was very alone, and so the song came from that.
Something about New York City in the wintertime makes me feel like, ooh, I wanna be there with ya. East Coast in the cold and the snow with ya. In California, the sun's been been shining, but I've been inside, ooh, just trying to get by. Don't know what I'm doing, but I'm getting sick of trying. It's been 6 months since I gave up everything I'd known, still looking for home. I've been alone in LA while the fires burn it all away, and all that I want is someone to come home to, 'cause things have been alright, but I'm lonely a lot of the time. Yeah, it's been a lot being alone in somewhere new. Something about being in a city so famous, no one knows what my name is. Ooh, I like it some days, but most I feel I'm fighting for my own place. And I still question the path I'm on now. How's it gonna play out? Ooh, all that I can do is put my palms up even when I don't want to. It's been 6 months since I gave up everything I'd known, still looking for home. I've been alone in LA while the fires burn it all away, and all that I want is someone to come home to, 'cause things have been alright, but I'm lonely a lot of the time. Yeah, it's been a lot being alone. Thought I'd have more friends by now. Maybe I should spend more time going out. It's easy to get stuck in the house when you got nowhere to be, nobody waiting on me. I've been alone in LA while the fires burn it all away. All that I want is someone